from San Francisco, California. This is the Rock and Roll Geek Show. This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Thursday, August 19th, 2021, and it is 4:23 p.m. when I'm recording this episode. I just got home from work, and I am ready to crack open the first Modelo of the day. And you know what they say about the first one. Oh, that's good. A little fire update, wildfire update. The fire is still about 2 miles from my house. It looks like it's getting closer down south of us. Here's the official wording here. We have 889 people fighting it. There's 12 hand crews, 85 fire trucks, 11 helicopters, 5 bulldozers, 6 water tenders, 6 masticators, 3 skidgens, whatever that is, and 2 excavators. It is now burned. This is the monument fire where my house is. I'll try to go through this quick, friends. This is my life. By the way, I'll talk about Al Collins in a minute. The fire is now estimated at 135,714 acres, an increase of almost 7,000 acres since yesterday. Most of the new growth was on the southeast corner of the fire, north and east of Hayfork, which is a little bit south of my house. I'm a little bit northeast of that. Smoke from neighboring fires to the North River Complex and northeast will lay over the fire area again today, shading it from the sun and lessening fire activity, much like it did on Wednesday. So that's good news. Smoke is going to drive the fire environment again today with a little cooler temperatures and higher relative humidity, said incident meteorologist Ryan Walburn. Winds remain out of the northeast today, but won't be as strong as yesterday. Firefighters will take advantage of the lighter winds and cooler temperatures created by the blanket of smoke over the fire to secure control lines around the perimeter of the fire. Okay, that's it. There's a bunch more. You can get on Google Maps and just Google Monument Fire Update, and you can read about it yourself. So far, your prayers have been working. The house is not burned down yet. So far, 32 structures have been destroyed as of from the what do you call it? The monument fire. So, what does it say here about it? I can't see it. Where is it? Damage assessment teams have confirmed the 32 structures have been destroyed. All right, and thank God. So far, mine is not one of them, and. So that and they have closed down BLM, where I plan on hunting, which hunting season opens on Tuesday or on Saturday, the 21st. I have a gig on the 21st with the Butlers. I was planning on going up straight from there, but they have closed BLM. Where my tree stand is up in my backyard, which is it's technically on BLM. It's in my backyard, but it's about maybe 20, 30 feet onto BLM. I doubt BLM is going to be patrolling the area, but I'm not going to go up into an evacuation zone until this shit is over. At least not this week. So I'm going to put that off, but I will be watching. Maybe I'll go to church on Sunday and pray for the house. I can use all the help I can get. All right. I have another audio comment. This is a Brush With A Rockstar. Let me see if I can find this. Here we go.
Michael Butler, this is my celebrity encounter.
Who is this?
Now, this would have taken place in...
This is Jesse Denos. I don't know if he introduces himself, but it's Jesse Denos. Hello, Jesse.
Vancouver, and this was during the...
let me back it up.
Michael Butler, this is my celebrity encounter. Now, this would have taken place in Vancouver, and this was during the recording of the Skyscraper album.
David Lee Roth.
This was David Lee Roth, and we were at a gentleman's establishment.
Strip club.
Immortalized in Motley Crue's Girls, 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 the Marble Arch Hotel. And we are in the Marble Arch watching ladies ply their wares on stage.
Yes.
And David Lee Roth comes in. And we were 2 or 3 rows back from the
did he come in with an entourage? I'm guessing he did.
Stage. And he kind of sat kitty corner to us, maybe 10 feet away. And he was sitting there with maybe friends of his, bodyguard, something like that.
His entourage.
There was a girl on stage who was dancing away. And another girl who had been on stage had got off stage, and she came out and was talking to him in a bath.
First strip club story in the history of the Rock and Roll Geek Show, other than my trip to the strip club. So thank you, Jesse Denos, for that. I'm going to back it up just a little bit.
Got off stage, and she came out and was talking to him in a bathrobe and like a white kind of terry cloth.
Now, I believe in Canada, they do total nude, right? Because I remember when Exodus played Montreal, we went to a strip club, and it was total nude, and the girls were extremely hot.
Bathrobe with the Marble Arch logo on it. And while he was talking to her and she was facing him, he was facing the stage, and she was kind of standing in between David Lee Roth and the stage. He snaked his hand in her robe around the back and was playing with the crack of her ass.
I think you're allowed to touch the girls in Canada. I'm not positive about that, but it sounds like he's allowed to.
As the two of them chatted. And we were sitting at the table kind of drinking our beers, and we kind of remarked he's incredibly smooth, because that was like a grand total of 30 seconds before he started doing that.
Well played, DLR.
And in interviews and stuff subsequent to that, he had mentioned that he was staying at a real dump of a motel, presumably above in the Marble Arch. But I've been led to believe that he was probably staying at a much nicer hotel, like the Four Seasons or the Sutton Place Hotel, one of the really nice places to stay in Vancouver, as opposed
a little diversion from the fans
to the Marble Arch, which was an absolute dump. And is now closed, I believe. So that is my celebrity encounter back in the early 90s with the Diamond David Lee Roth.
That's a good one. Thank you, Jesse Denos. Jesse Denos also sent another email directly after with a little, he said it's a clarification, so let's hear it.
Oh, Michael Butler, you get a twofer. I was sitting here having made my first...
It's a twofer Thursday on the Rock and Roll Geek Show.
Comment to you about David Lee Roth, and something wasn't sitting right, so I had to go on the old Google machine. And in fact, he was not in town recording Skyscraper, because that was recorded down in your neck of the woods in California, but he was in fact recording Little Ain't Enough, which was recorded at Little Mountain Sound with Bob Rock.
Which is that's after Skyscraper, right?
I would have been too young to go into a gentleman's establishment when Skyscraper was made, but just old enough when Little Ain't Enough.
And now Little Ain't Enough, I don't think Steve Vai was in the band, right?
Out. Needless to say, I will throw in a Scorpion story now for you.
Sweet.
So this would have been, I think, a little bit after...
Another strip club, I hope?
My encounter with David Lee Roth. And I worked at the theater, and we were having a fundraiser, and Little Richard was playing the fundraiser.
Oh, nice.
And the opening act was a band that my stepbrother was in, and he was in a rockabilly band, and he played a stand-up bass. And some way, somehow, they snagged that opening gig, and they...
I would love to open for Little Richard, man. That would be really cool.
The songs weren't particularly great, but they were super high-energy band. And so they played their set. Little Richard came out, played his set. It was a big success, and there was an after party. And it was taking place somewhere nice in downtown Vancouver at a hotel, in a ballroom or something like that, I seem to remember. Can't remember which hotel, but it was quite nice. I remember that.
I guess it was Little Richard's after
I was sitting there with all my friends, and we were chatting about how well their little opening... their bit had gone, and all the members of the Scorpions came through kind of in a line with Klaus Meine in the front and all the other Scorpions.
Okay, boys, we're going to make our entrance. Here's how we're going to do it. I'll be in the front. You guys line up single file behind me. Goose step. All right. They're German, get it?
Behind. And as they walked through... I saw some of them do this, particularly Rudolf Schenker, who would check out every single attractive young woman who was in the room as they kind of walked through, and it took them about maybe kind of a minute to make their way through the crowd.
Here we come, fella. Here we come, people. We're going to check out all right, we're going to check out the ladies as we're walking through single file.
And you would see, because Rudolph Schenker was kind of facing towards me as they kind of walked in a line. And you would see his eyes go down to the ground and up as he kind of cataloged the person.
He checked them out from toe to head.
He kind of walked by, but it was only the really attractive women. And I noticed exactly what he was doing. And as I knew who the Scorpions were, and nobody else that I was sitting with had a clue who the Scorpions were, I just kind of kept that to myself, watched them kind of march from one side of the room to the other side of the room and out the doors, and then the Scorpions were gone.
That was it? They walked through just to look at all right, guys, we're going to this party. We're going to go through the room. We're not staying. We're just going to walk through single file, goose stepping. We're going to check out the women and head straight out the door. Why?
And I had a good little inside giggle with myself as that happened. So there we go. I've now set the record straight, and I won't be taken out and beaten by other Rock and Roll Geek listeners. Stay frosty.
Right. Stay frosty, friend. That was a great two for Brush with the Rockstar encounter. David Lee Roth groping a woman at a dumpy strip club, total nude strip club, and Scorpions walking single file, goose stepping through a Little Richard after party, eyeing the women down and up, and exiting the other end of the room. That is great. That is so fucking great. I would have followed Scorpions out of the room to see where they went. All right, thank you, Jesse Denos. You, too, can leave me a Brush with a Rockstar or show review. Please keep them coming. I'm getting one or two are trickling in every day, and I love them. Please keep them coming. Please, 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 friends, because I may do a bunch tomorrow, because I'm hoping to do a longer show tomorrow, unless I go to dinner with Chiaki, which we had planned on going tonight, but he has to work late. So if I don't have dinner with Chiaki tomorrow, I will do a longer show. So please keep the audio comments coming. Record it into your phone. Email it to me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. You could call area code 706-621-ROCK as well, but that's a Skype-in number, and Skype sucks ass. So I would prefer you just record it on your phone and email it to me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. All right. From the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, Joe Heidacher. Joe Heidacher is Heidasher. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he's a longtime friend of the show. He said, "What do you guys think of the new Iron Maiden song, Stratego? It just came out today. I give it a +1. It's better than the previous song." Joe Pawlak says it has the familiar. I have not heard this song. Have not listened to it yet. I just got home from work, so pardon me, I'm burping up this fine Modelo. It has the familiar gallop for sure. The keyboards are a little extraneous for me, but I give it a +1. Stephen Cohen, friend of the show. By the way, Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, go on there. You just got to answer 2 questions so that I know you're not somebody trying to sneak into a Vancouver strip club incognito. You just got to answer 2 questions, and there's lots of rock talk on there. It's so much you can hardly keep up with it. I'm so grateful for all the people who come on there. It's the only reason I go on Facebook anymore, is to get on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group and to look at fire updates from the Mountain House. It has, Joe Pawlak, my bodyguard. It has the familiar gallop for sure. The keyboards are a little extraneous for me, but I give it a +1. That means it's a Steve Harris song if it's got the gallop, I'm guessing. Stephen Cohen, I'm glad it's up-tempo. Sounds good to me. Tim Schall, a total +1. Peter... this is my friend from Poland, friend of the Rock and Roll Geek Show from Poland. Piotrek Wojciechowski. Not sure if it's better than the first single, but it's a +1 for me. I can't wait for the full album. And finally, the guy who saves the show every month, Kirk Crawford. It's a good one. Let's go out with the new Iron Maiden song, Stratego. Taken from Iron Maiden's 17th studio album, Senjutsu, coming out September 3rd. It's coming soon. We'll be doing a track by track of that for sure. I'm going to listen to it together. I might comment while it's playing, and then I'll come back after it's over before I hit the train wreck, and I'll give my thoughts on it as we're a +1 or a. I'll give it the Rock and Roll Geek scoring system. Okay, here's Stratego from Iron Maiden. Oh shit! I gotta back it up. Okay, back it up here. Stratego. I like the gallop. On the video, it's just a flag with Eddie in some kind of Japanese samurai helmet. The flag is waving in the wind.
How do you read a madman's mind? Teach me the art of war.
Is it just me, or is Bruce Dickinson a little low in the mix?
For I shall bring more than you bargained for. Give me an ultimatum that I could not dream of. Spells of a crying nation on my soul. For I have no soul.
I like that so far. Chorus is extremely catchy. Bruce Dickinson's voice is loaded with effects. The song is written by Steve Harris and Yannick Gers. Usually Steve Harris writes all the songs, so the first single, let me stop it here for a second. The first single was written by Adrian Smith and I think Bruce Dickinson, and second single combination of Steve Harris and Yannick. I don't know if Yannick's ever written anything for Iron Maiden. I'm not an authority, so maybe he has, but I don't think so. right, there. Let me stop it here. All right, I'm gonna give it. Let me close off the YouTube. Oh, let me close it so I don't get another song. I'm gonna give it a +1, but I'm gonna give it a soft +1. I like it. It's a catchy chorus and it's a classic Maiden sound. I think they're playing this thing really well because they're timing the release of this album perfectly. Because now they don't really have to do the what's the name? Shinjutsu tour. I guess the last tours they did was a greatest hits tour. So they alternate from the album, like they did the Book of Souls tour. They did a bunch of songs from Book of Souls, and I'm guessing that this time they go out and tour. They'll do a bunch of songs from Shinjutsu and not really do the greatest hits. I think they're timing it well because with all the bullshit that's happening of tours canceling and stuff now they probably don't really have to go out until next year. So. It could be timing a little early on the release, but who knows? We'll see. I give it a +1. It's a soft +1. I hope I like the album as much as I like Book of Souls. First two songs I like, but I think so far I'm liking Book of Souls better. I mean, Empire of the Clouds, that song is just so fucking great. I apologize for the curse, and I can't help it. I have Tourette's. All right, well, thank you for listening, friends. Something new to be, something excited to be, something to get your hopes up for. New Iron Maiden coming out beginning of September, which is right after the Dog Days ends. All right, friends, thank you for listening. rockandrollgeek.com is where you can find this show. rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Facebook, R&R Geek. Twitter, R&R Geek. Instagram, rockandrollgeek. Don't ask. Thank you for listening, friends. This is a value for value. If you appreciate me doing a show every day and you get any value out of this, whatever it's worth to you, I ask that you please contribute what you can, either by giving an audio comment, promoting the show on other shows, sending me books in the mail, or best of all, just send your cash. All right, friends. Thank you very much for listening. I really do appreciate it. And keep those positive thoughts coming about the Mountain House. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hit it, train wreck!
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.